Kalau tidak kena nih.
Berikan mati.
Vale, vale.
Mati beri beda. Eti eti di.
kabut dia sudah.
होते गुलजार के मन के बाहर के बसनी दियार में कुरा निगम की माल चिंते नया यार फिरेगी जन्नते दुनिया में होते गुलजार के मन के बाहर के बसनी दियार में कुरा निगम की माल चिंते नया यार फिरेगी जन्नते दुनिया में Quando volta tu, ahir kame fikrati, khote ghumne dar ke, manzil ke bahar ke, wasne diya nikrai. Binti maameti tera, chal tireni, jannat ke duniya mein.
Sorry.
होते गुल्ले जार के मालू के बाहर के बसने दियार में पूरा मिनी बंकी मालची जन्नते दुनिया होते गुल्ले जार के मालू के बाहर के बसने दियार में पूरा मिनी बंकी मालची Kurati gan penu tere dhirni te behi bimnate asaru ban lo hurani mandna haviru ke pinnate nurum palak beveni teri to pinne ohidante hote gunnar ke man ke bahar ke यार में पूरा मिले वक्त मारे ते नया तेरे जन्नते दुनिया
Thank you very much.
तक तेरे रूहा सिकुंडे आरोवनी शायरों पूरे हम तेरे प्याला पिकुरु स्वल्लनी मीठो पेवे गुंड गोतक आहिर कन्ने पितरठी होते झूले बार के मालू के पहाड़ के बसने दियार में पूरा मिनी बंती मावेती ते नया ख्याल तेरे में जन्नते दुनिया में
දක්කා දැන් යහම දිවෙහි බහුම් වාහක දෙක්කවීම අහමද නසීරු තර්ජමා කො දෙවාන එද බේෆුන්න දැන් අලුගඬු මෙන් එකමකු එබි එබේපුන් ඉංග්‍රීසින් දක්කා වාහක දිවෙහින් තර්ජමා කුරන් ජෙහෙකම කන්නු දෙකේ ඒ තිබේපුන් අලුගඬ අලුන් මෙන්න ලෆා කුරයි මියොන්නනි ඒ සාෆ් ko olum filane ekanka ema තිබේපුන් වාහක දක්වම් වි බේනුන් ගොතක බේනුන් බහකුන් බේනුන් ඛයාල ෆාල් කුරමම් වි erung ebefuna ingemun dan den alugando miyaduge mi baddalbum fasharuge stibefuna miharu latif fenwadam pawani latif aluganden komis dimaka miharu wadannavi latifa ekiga mirashan anekkaves annan libunu kami alugon men amagame salugon warab boda ufawa kame waran hingam je kame alugon menna mi party ge asofai ella මිහාරු මි කුරන් මෙවලේ මසෙක්කේ මවමුන්ගේ වෙරිකන් නිමුමක ගෙනෙවම ඉතුරු හිවරකා ආ බාරේ ලිබේනේ අවොන් මෙන් හැම උම්මීද් කුරණී අනෙක්කාවස් දාදි අවහ රයි මච්චන් ගෝල් කිමිගසරුගේ මවමුන් අබ්දුල් ගයූම් වෙරිකමුන් වට්ටාලි වෙන්කම ශුක්‍රියා no mi බද්දලු මේ ගෙතෝ අලුගොන් මේ මසෙක්කත් බද්දලු මේ ගොතුක මේ බද්දලුන් ගෙන්දම් මෙවනේ අලුගොන්ට දෙන් හැම මයික් කාර්ය වෙබුණීම දමන් දියයි වරපොඩ මාෆ් කරවත් Agon Mihar me Arwani, Honorable Gary Street.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, Mohammed. And it's a great pleasure to be with you this afternoon at the MDP Provincial Council meeting. Of course, I bring greetings from the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has had a long and proud relationship with the Maldives over many, many years, a relationship that has developed to one in which now over 100,000 British people every year come and lay down on your beaches for 2 weeks and then go home again, raving about the beauty of this modern-day paradise. But it was very thoughtful of you to provide some British weather for us this morning when we arrived at your island. We're very grateful for that. Now, why are we here? In 1992, the British government set up a foundation called the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, and it exists to try and help emerging countries to build strong democracies wherever they might be all over the world. And we do that in two ways. First of all, through Westminster Foundation centrally, working with governments and organizations in whatever country, but also we work through political parties. So the Conservative Party and the Labour Party and the Liberal Democrat Party of Great Britain all have relationships with other parties all over the world in which we exchange ideas and techniques and experience and mistakes so that we can learn from one another, so that democracy is built and people living in every country get more justice, better healthcare, better education, because they get better government. That is what building stronger democracy is all about. Now, we have over the last 2 years had a number of meetings in London with various members of the Maldivian Democratic Party, and we have been discussing whether or not a relationship between the Conservative Party and the NDP would be a fruitful one for both sides, whether there's anything we have got out of our 250 years of experience, 250 years of making mistakes and getting many things wrong, I must tell you, and we are far from perfect today in the British Conservative Party, and we have been out of power for 10 years, 10 long years, but hopefully we will be winning the next election and back into government again. Whether there was something, thank you, whether there was a way in which we could work together and cooperate, that some of our experience might be of use to the MDP. And that's why we're here, to make that assessment, which is going really, really well, and to talk about in detail how we can help one another. And so this afternoon, we're going to just try and experiment and try and take forward that discussion at a new level. I should explain that I am the chairman of the Conservative Party International Office, but I am by no means an expert in democracy building and party strengthening and party campaigning. I am not an expert, but somebody on this top table is, and it's Philippa Broom, who is the director of the Conservative Party International Office. And Philippa and her team work all over the world building capacity in political parties, helping them to improve, to win elections, and to become the government of that country. And over the years, we've seen many, many successes, and it's certainly our fond wish that here in the Maldives, that at the next free and fair elections, the MDP will become the government of this country. So I'm going to hand over to Philippa now, who's going to conduct an exercise which we're going to ask our esteemed colleagues here from the Provincial Council to take part in, as just one insight into how we can sharpen one another's skills. So Philippa, would you please take over? Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. The first thing I want to say is thank you for such a fantastic welcome. Except for the weather, we are absolutely delighted to be here. It's wonderful. Thank you. Now, like you, the British Conservative Party loves freedom and liberty. But we all know it is not easy to achieve, and the price of eternal freedom is eternal vigilance and hard, hard work. The route to democracy must be through the ballot box. But to do that, you need to have the most effective campaign with the clearest message and the best organisation. And this is actually where it's not all about money and resources. It's about belief. And one thing that the MDP has that sets you apart all other parties in the Maldives is that you have this wonderful advantage of real passion and sincerity in your cause. You have an advantage which will enable you to reach out and convince the electorate of the Maldives to support you at the ballot box. Now, we're here to help, but to do this, we need to understand you better and understand more about the challenges that you're facing and what you've achieved so far. I mean, certainly from what Gary and I have found out over the last couple of days is incredible. You're a very, very new political party. And as Gary said, I mean, we worked last year in 29 countries with 32 political parties. And this new, this young, with very limited resources, to have achieved so much and to be so well organised already, I think you need to be congratulated now. Yeah. But as I said, we'd like to find out some more, and what we'd like to ask you to do, the representatives from the atolls today, is to actually join us up on the stage, because we want a more informal atmosphere, and we actually want to ask you some questions. So if you'd like to rise up from your seats and join us on the stage, we'll start with some various discussions. Thank you.
මිතා මිතිබ්බෙවි කුරීබරි කුරීගා මේස්ස කාරීග තිබ්බේ බේපු මච්ච වඩාත්ම ෆිලිපායේ ලබන
Dr. Dhathuru was the Dr. Isnagan Joni and we have Rajya Devangay Burihama Samadhan Udevi and Maki Adum Mea Burikal and we have Aumana Havati to India near the Homadu Irasabira Vadano Vadan MDP member of the Adi Sarkar of the Kaiga, Rospi Masura Padu Babu. Nihatan Nayar, Augumana, Adi Watuka, Kamia, Puraka, Nudan, and was Masurato, Benmaki, Hayatuga, Aguman, Tawaka, Nota, the Drag Paswa, Minimum Intihab Beguma, Kandala, Tari Utaka, the Garvasa, Sinima, Tari Utaka, you can come a person.
यहाँ संपन्नारा सरकार बजट पास कर दिया ये नाउन पार्टी के बाकी विष्णु का दर्शकों को नाउन पार्लियामेंट्री ग्रुप को नाउन में पार्टी के विश्वास तक थोड़ा ठीक है कम आए और सरकार वो तक ये बजट पास होना वोट के लिए तो कमा नाउन पार्टी देखनी किन्हें तो पार्टी के विष्णु माने कर देती किन्हें तो और अन्य कार्य विश्वास आहा जाए इस वाली
Algonmen mutta miga paakuran awan sede kamiti awan party ga tibi raitunge demajiliuge memberuna kives agidatuga eveku memberuna bewadanna pamu party gipet e uttama awan kadan kuran jehene eka eveku eba bandawa party ge berum ehen tanaka तो अवगुणमें पार्टी के तेरेगा पार्टी सिस्टम के तेरे यहाँ पे बापा के रईत के मध्य है तो आधे अनेक का देख अनेक में कि पार्टी के मजलिस मेंबर
यार मीना मुझे चाहिए तो मैं बहुत में तो लोग पेपर को निर्माण अंदर
Don't worry about it, don't worry. Okay. Members of the press all departed? No press? Okay, we're going to call on Thinadhoo just to tell us a little bit about...
Vice President of the Daira. Thinadhoo is, say, the smallest atoll in the country, but we have, outside Madevi, we are the largest population, about 28,000 is our population, and of which some 5,000 members, about 5,000 members are registered on NDP. But when the official list came out, it reduced to some 3,000, and we were disappointed about it. We have 51 voting in Daira. In each atoll we have a focal point which helps organize elections as well as local elections. And these elections show that there is support of more than 75% to us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
75%, even though the registered number is small.
What's the campaigning activities?
During the campaign, we visit the members, door-to-door visits, and then we're not allowed to have mass gatherings. So really, we had the elections. So
the Daira, because all the members of the Daira Council can come there and perform the talks.
Okay, thank you.
I sit from Thinadhoo. From Thinadhoo.
From So you're four. Lovely. Right, who's next? Who's from the next settle?
Yeah, I'm from Romula. We have only one island, just next to one. Population is total population control is
Sorry, 1700. Yeah. Who's next? Molly. Oh, no, that's fine. No problem at all.
What do you want to
Oh, here. Right. Okay, fine. So we'd like to know about the population of the island, the member party membership.
after they go to almost
So the government puts pressure.
never got a come. This will be the door of the good. The Maritan Mahana, but he come my gay. Come my gay. November, November, sir.
So the different savings this is
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about your campaign?
campaign what are they?
Campaign foreign man can know this media. Weekly television is bad. The Nagan Channel, they were a big places. Then, we had to go to far, far closely, I mean, the far goes, I mean, there is near campaign for a around the book. Then, I mean, I'm going to get an application, I can minimum level on news,
Now, this is for campaign.
Yeah.
They are not too many effective because due to many reasons.
Yeah.
But mostly they are being prevented by the government to be active politically.
Okay.
They are helping. What they are doing is they are using independent radio channel, as well as the related publications to address their issues, focus on their issues.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Anything else you can?
I think that's fine. If you just ask the rest of your team to introduce themselves.
Team game.
At the end, he wants to say something else.
Oh, all right, sorry.
I think सरकार मदन हरक पाल वर्गदे वर्गदे दृश्य एकम सो को ये हम के तरह पार्टी ने उलेगन में मुख्य जेल बिरु बिरु रे को
Mrs. because of the most members feel even members who are not members if you
Right. Right, thank you very much. So, who else?
Vice President.
I am Nazim, Mohammed Nazim, and Secretary Nazim, Daya.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone else?
I'm Muhammad Sadiq.
And what's your position on it?
I'm president of Maldaka Group.
Okay.
Essentially,
Yeah.
Q10 coffee. Q10 coffee. Q10 coffee. I am Muhammad Ali. Insaf Group. President.
Daya, minimum Kalmafship Day 2.
Okey-doke, so, yep.
Another president. Coffee. Branch. Coffee rice. Rushdie.
Rushdie. Okay.
area. I belong to Bravo. My area population, total population is 30,000. We belong to Gapaliki, not like other towns. There are so many small islands, small population. One more is there. The total population is 13,000. How do we get able to 2,000 membership? Bumati, orang yang tahu ini atau tak dapat. At first itu tidak ada muka, ada macam ini. This is positive in which we get to separate small in this cluster. And because it's
so a big logistical.
Then militarism, come militarism. Kita pun tempat yang karena saya dah berkorban. Ama, itu juga tahu mengenai apa cuma tiga. Kalau mana kan ada militer pun lebih ada lagi ni. Pas coast guard yang berani tu.
This is suspects in the US because of that fear they were He's referring to this one button.
Yeah.
It's been there listening
what we're going to do is we're actually going to come back to government techniques and stuff a little later on in the session. So that's Thank you very much. So is it just Marley to feed that? Yes.
Yes.
Members introduce themselves.
Members, dhathuru members. Dhathuru. Itu member.
Ahmad Ali Gapali. Minimum column of rating. Minimum column of rating. Ahmad Ali. Adil.
Berarti ini kan kalau tidak
Last but not least, we ask somebody from Mali to feedback, and after we have that, then we'll be breaking into group activity. No. Okay, so I'd like to know the population of Mali, votes for MDP, and membership. Tell me about it.
Male registered. Male people. 100,000 people live there, but it's from all over the country.
Right, so
Actually,
it's
the Male
really
registered
voters.
numbers are around 27,000.
And what's the estimated population?
Oh no, you mean the total population? That is around 100,000. The last said figure was 105,000. The voters are less.
What percentage of the voters you have? How many branches have you got?
44 branches. They
And how is morale at the moment? Do you feel like is that all that people are less interested at the moment? Or people still
there is a sick pay, but this is over. They are responsible.
Thank you very much. Would you just like to introduce your people? So people from Mali, just introduce themselves to us as well, please.
Ali Sharif, People Ghaffur,
Mujahid, Ali Dhad, Ali Dhad, Abdul Majid Makarilo.
Everyone's been introduced? Okie-doke. Well, thank you very much for that. What we want to do now is split you into some groups, because it's about time that you guys did some work as well. Now, have you done SWOT analysis? Do you want to stand up and talk to do it? Right. What we'd like to do. So what we'd like to do is split you into your 5 groups based around your atolls and marlings. Probably five. Yeah. And we want to ask you to consider particular topics. Okay. So we're going to ask 3 groups to consider the NDP. And what we want you to analyse are what the strengths of the party are. What the weaknesses of the party are. What opportunities are out there for the party? I mean, an example of the sorts of things we're looking for is an opportunity could be the dissatisfaction of people with the government, the high cost of living, the unemployment.
point එක.
And the final section we'd like you to look at it are threats. Threats.
දැන් පාටිය උරි නුරක්කා.
Yeah. So what's dangers and problems of facing the party?
පාටි කුරුමත්ලේ කොංකාල චෙජන්ත පාතෝ නොද කොංකාල උරස්තක්කා.
I mean, we've heard problems obviously with the police, with government harassment, those sorts of issues.
මිහාරු මේ ආර්බන් මාළුමාත් දීපේ ඔති ෆුනුම් ගාරකා කරන බවතුනා එමිස් මියව සවබු මෙම්බර් නදිබේ ගෝනා.
Under the strength section, need to think what makes your party strong, what is good about the party. One obvious thing for me is your membership, the quality of people you have here, the strength of your belief, your commitment.
මිහාරු ගදෆාගේ දරුක ලිස්ට් පුරේ දාන එනගුණ විසාලක මෙම්බරුන්ගේ නියුන රූ.
And under weaknesses, I want you to really think about organisational weaknesses of the party. You know, are there problems we've heard maybe with logistics, with transport, with communication? But we want to understand what are the current weaknesses.
Yeah, balifata list pura regtere himelidan saata antatta inzam purang ule dimawada saata apurga purang dimawada memberun mona dimawada eta antatta list pura vidane balifata.
Because we need to understand and analyse ourselves before we can move forward.
E beenuma kimiyaru ang ekku rangala badafa.
Okay. Last 2, 3 weeks. Right, should you do an internal? And right, should we also do
Yeah.
right,
So you're doing MDP.
Wait a minute. Right. Guys, hang on a minute.
There's one per group. Yeah. That's a length. Oh, sorry. They've got one.
There is lack of unity in the intense emotions change after 28 years of parliament position. It's a huge thing.
We're just going to have now the feedback from the 4 breakout groups that were up on the platform earlier. But before we have the feedback from each of the 4 groups, I want to explain very briefly to everybody so everyone knows what we have been doing. The members of the Provincial Council have broken down into 4 groups according to their atoll, and we've asked them to consider what we call in the UK a SWOT analysis, to look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of any given organisation or subject. 2 of the groups were looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of the MDP, and we're going to hear from them in a moment. 1 group was looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of the DRP, and we're going to hear from them in a moment. And then the 4th group was looking at those issues in relation to opposition parties and particularly the Justice Party, and we're going to hear from them in a moment as well. So let's have the first feedback. I think the Mali group were ready to go, so let's have that, and then we're going to have some discussion of that afterwards. Thank you. Oh, and could you restrict your feedback to 5 minutes, please, sir? Thank you.
We have come up with a very strong factors in the strength part. We are saying that there is a good unity among the membership. Support, strength side, we have support for the people, and now it's waning. Part? Now we have done the study which is given to us on SWOT analysis, and we are saying that the strength part of the section, in the strength we are saying there is a unity among the membership for a change, and secondly we are saying there is a lot of support at the beginning of the party formation, but now it seems to be waning because of the process is delayed. Because of the delayed process, the president has taken over, because he is trying to delay the process so the people get up and go. You know? The other one is intense emotion during the 28 years for a change.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أفمن يعلم أنما أنزل إليك من ربك الحق كمن هو أعمى إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب الذين يوفون بعهد الله ولا ينقضون الميثاق والذين يصلون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويخشون ربهم ويخافون سوء الحساب والذين صبروا ابتغاء وجه ربهم وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية ويدرؤون بالحسنة السيئة أولئك لهم عقبى الدار جنات عدن يدخلونها ومن صلح من آبائهم وأزواجهم وذرياتهم والملائكة يدخلون عليهم من كل باب سلام عليكم بما صبرتم فنعم عقبى الدار والذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك لهم اللعنة ولهم سوء الدار الله يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر وفرحوا بالحياة الدنيا وما الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا متاع ويقول الذين كفروا لولا أنزل
أنزل عليه آية من ربه قل إن الله يضل من يشاء ويهدي إليه من أناب الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات طوبى لهم وحسن مآب كذلك أرسلناك في أمة قد خلت من قبلها لتتلو عليهم الذي أوحينا إليك وهم يكفرون بالرحمن قل هو ربي لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وإليه متاب ولو أن قرآنا سيرت به الجبال أو قطعت به الأرض أو كلم به الموتى بل لله الأمر جميعا أفلم ييأس الذين آمنوا أن لو يشاء الله لهدى الناس جميعا ولا يزال الذين كفروا تصيبهم بما صنعوا قارعة أو تحل قريبا من دارهم حتى يأتي وعد الله إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد ولقد استهزئ برسل من قبلك فأمليت للذين كفروا ثم أخذتهم فكيف كان عقاب أفمن هو قائم على كل نفس بما كسبت وجعلوا لله شركاء قل سموهم أم تنبئونه بما لا يعلم في الأرض أم بظاهر من القول بل زين للذين كفروا مكرهم وصدوا عن السبيل ومن يضلل الله فما له من هاد لهم عذاب في الحياة الدنيا ولعذاب الآخرة أشق وما لهم من الله من واق مثل الجنة التي وعد المتقون تجري من تحتها الأنهار كلها دائم وظلها تلك عقبى الذين اتقوا وعقبى الكافرين النار صدق الله العظيم
ade dire bebe ni tarihi baddaluma ekunuge atarwataluga tibevi MDP ge dobeti memberum ge deddi ebbaluma saida apparum shukur gannawa adi hama yaaya kiga direge mi baddalumuga alunenge ni partiya MDP ga waram ga gulmen upadam genda इंग्लिश इलाके सियासी पार्टी कम गवा इंग्लिश इलाके एम्मे वाले पार्टी के वरपड़ी इज्जत जे मी जोतागा इन्हें कम एयस मी बदलने दिंदा वरपड़ो उपदे वरपड़ो तरफे हम यह कीगा අවගොන්නෙන්ගේ මේ හරකාතුග රාජ්‍යයෙන් බේරුග වරක් ගිනතුහු හිදමෙක් පුරබ්බා මේ හප්ලාග බාරි වඩාකුම වඩාගෙන් අවගොන්නෙන්ගේ මේ පාටිගේ වරන් ඉස් මෙම්බරක් ඉන්නේ කමිය මේ ජෞසා දිගෙන්දා සරපේ ඉzzate ආදේ මිරේ බද්දලුමගේ එජෙන්ඩා වල ලිබුනිරු එජෙන්ඩා වර දිගු එන්නමොස් මිපද බද්දලුමෙග්ගා මේ ජෞසා තාරෆ් කරමුගා අලුවන් ලිබේ ෆුසතුගා හම එච්ච දන්නවා අනුදා අලුගඬ කුරුකොල්ලන් දතිවණි අලුවන් මෙන් මිපුරම්දා මසකතුගේ බුරකම මි කමුගා අලුවන් මෙන් කුරම්දා මසකත්තා හොගේ අලුවන් ලිබෙම්දා අනියාතක හාලතු බිනා ෆවන්න ගොතෙක් මතින් ආදේ එම්මෙ ගිනාන් අලුවන්න ඉවෙමුදා එන් අඩකි මිහාරු කිහිනෙන් හෙయ్యේ දෙන් වාණි කිහිනෙන් හෙయ్యේ අලුවන්න හිවනි මී සුවාලෙන් නොන්හෙන් මිහාරු වමුන්දා ගොතා වෙෆෙග්ගෙන් අලුවන්න වර සාෆ්කම බෙංගේ අලුවන්න මෙන් නිකුති අලුවන්න මෙන්න කුරිමතුන්දා අනියාතක අලුවන්න මෙදිරිෆා දති හාලා අලුවන්න මෙදිරිෆාවා නිකමෙති ගොයි එයි අලුවන්න මෙන් ගබූල් කොග්ගෙන් මඩුන් තිබේනේ ගොතෙන් නුන්කන් සාබිත් කොද්දී මේ බදල්ත ගෙනවම අලුවන් මෙන්න පෙනිගෙන් දියයි රාජ්‍යයක zamaantahක ආදී අශාවි දිගු අශාවිස් අහරෙක් වෙරිකන් කුරම් දිය හුදුම හුතාර වෙරියේ ඒනාගේ අනියා වෙරිකන් සලාමට්ටක අලුවන්නේ මසෙහ කුරම් මිදණි මිහිසාබන් ආරුගා එබ්බසාලෙග අලුවන් මේ දෙකගෙන් නුවානේ අලුවන්නේ මසෙක්කයි කාම්‍යවම නුදාකමක නුවත කාම්‍යව නුයික් එක්කමක අලුවන් හැම හරවඩුන් දන්නවානි අලුවන් මෙන්න දණි කාම්‍යවමුන්නේ අලුවන් මේ මිකුරා මසකතුග අලුවන් මෙන් හොදම් වි කාමයාව අලුවන් මෙන් දාදියව ලිවිගෙන් දානේ ඒකී ශක්‍යෙ එක්කමෙන් නෝනේ ආදේ අලුවන් මෙන් මිදන්න ඩික්ටේටර් බොඩ් ඩික්ටේටර් නුවත බොඩු ඩයිනසෝ මසෙන්නේ ඩයිනසෝ බුඤ්ඤස් ආදි ඩික්ටේටර් බුඤ්ඤස් කොම්මෙ ගොතේ බියස් ඒන අයබ බුනේ තිමන්නේ යකි ගෝමුගේ රයිසේ ගෝමුගේ රයිසේ ඒන බුනිකමුගා වියස් අලුවන හම මී බහුගේ මී දරජා මහාතප කරම් බේනුම් වාතියේ අලුවන්ට ඒගොත මී දන්නවාලි ඒන එහෙන් බුනිකමුගා වියස් අලුවන් මෙන්ගේ රයියතුන්ගේ තෙරෙන් ගිනාද දෙගේ රයියතුන් දන්නවම දන්නේ කීකේතෝ අඩ්ඩු රයියතුන් අංගමු දනි අඩ්ඩුවක නේරේනේ ගාෆ්දාදු රයියතුන් අංගමු දනි මිතන්තර කරේ නේරේනේ ගාෆදු රයියතුන් බුනි ආපේ ආහාර මිති විතනක නේරේනේ අදි හිසාබුනි මුනිය කීනු අලුවන් වර පහුම් යයි උතුරුගේ අතොල්තහක වෙස් දතුරු කොෆ එහිසාව වෙසියමුන් දනි ආදේ කුරුදුපුරිය ජල්සායක අලුවන්ඩු දෙකි වාහකයා ගුලිගෙන් ඒ ජල්සායන් හාසිර වඩාන් තිබි MDP ගේ එම්හා මෙම්බරුන් හරවඩුන් ගෝවාදී ආපේ ආහාර මිහිසාබක නේරේනේ ලාහක නුනේ රාකරේ එහෙම වෙජ්ජිය කොබාතෝ අලුවන් මෙන්ගේ මසක්කතුග පස්ජීව නොත අලුවන් මෙන් මේ දේ කාමියාබහමය නුදේ කමුගේ එබ්බස් සිෆේ ෆෙන්නා කරන්නේ අලුවන් ෆෙන්නනි වරන් හිබ්වරා අසුමා අයකි ගලවන මසේ ක්‍රම අලුවන් බේනවා කාමියාබහමය වාස්ලොම් දාත ආදේ මියදු අලුවන් මෙන්ගේ මුයිතමෝග වරක් ගින ෆර්දුන් එතිබි MDP ගේ මෙම්බරුන් වෙස් අදි එහෙනි හැම මෙම්බරුන් වෙස් බේෆලුම් වෙස් වර සාබිත කම ඇකීග මී ඩික්ටේටර්ගේ වෙරිකම් මී ගෛර ගානුයි වෙරිකම් එකම් සාබිත කො දිනම කෙම්මදේෆා එකම මදි ඉන්සාෆෙරි කෝටේ ඒ කෝට් ගාම වෙජ්ජකම වෙජ්ජියා වර සාබිත කම ඇකීග ඒනාගේ වෙරිකම කී ගෛර ගානුයි වෙරිකම් එක සාබිත කො දේවර අලුවන් මෙන්න අලුවන් මෙන්ගේ දරින් උෆෙදිජ්ජේ ඒ මෞලුමාත ෆෙතුරිජ්ජේ ඒ වාහකත ලීක් වෙජ්ජේ එකන් එම්මෙන්නම් හාමවේ එංගිජ්ජේ මී අලුවන් මේ කුරා මසකතකි මී අනියාවරිකම් සලාම මොට්ටක අලුවන් මෙන් කුරම් මියන මසකතකි එකන් ඉරාස් කරවියා දාදියව කාමයාබ වාන ආදේ අලුවන් මෙන්ගේ හරකත මිහාරු හිඟමුන් දනි තංකොලේ ෆාල්කම් කුඩ ගොතක කුරීග ජෞසාතක් ගින බද්දොන්ත වෙස් ගින දතුරුත වෙස් ගින අදි මග්මති හරකත වෙස් ගින සීදා හරකත වෙස් ගින එහෙන්නම වෙස් බයෙක් හාලෙත්තක කන්දත්තක ගුලිගෙන් බය ලපාතක ඉර්සාතක ගුලිගෙන් මිදොස්කොල් අලුවනම මසක වණි තපාත එහෙන් ගොත්තහක බට්ටම් වෙෆා එහෙන් බීමා මිහාර MDP ಗ ಹರಕಾತ ಮದೀಕಿನೋ ಮಿಹಾರ ವೆಸ್ ವರುಗದ ಹರಕಾತ ಬೇಣತರಿ ಹರಕಾತ ಮುಹಿಮ್ ಹರಕಾತ ಬೊಡತಿ ಹರಕಾತ ಹಿಂಗ ಮುಂಗೆ ಬದೆ ಅಳಗೊಂಡ ಮೆಂಗೆ ಮಸಲೇಕಿ ಅಳಗೊಂಡ ಲಿಫೆ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಆದೆ ಅಳಗೊಂಡ ಮೆಂಗೆ ವಸೀಲ ಮದುವಿಮ ಮಿ ಹರಕಾತ ದುವಹುನ್ ದುವಹ ಎಮ್ಮಿಹ ಮೆಂಬರುನ ಫೋರ್ ಕೊಂಡು ದೇವೆನಿ ಎಹನ್ನಮ ವೆಸ್ ಅಳಗೊಂಡು ತಿವೇಫುನ ಯಗಿನ್ ಕೊಂ ಯರವನಿ MDP ಗೆ ಹಿಯನಿ ಕೆಬಿನೆಟ MDP ಗೆ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ MDP ಗೆ ಎಹನಿಯ ಮೋಸಸಾತ ಹೋಗ ಅವಧಿನತಿ ಅಳಗೊಂಡ ಮೆಂ ಅಮ ರಿಯಾ ದುವಾಲು ಮಸಹ ಕುರಂ ಗೆಂದಾವಾಹಕ ಎ ಮಸಹತ ಕಾಮಯಾಬ ವೆಸ್ ಫೆನ್ನಮ ದಾವಾಹಕ ಅಳಗೊಂಡೆ ಮಿತಿಬಿ ವರಂ ಎಕ್ವೆರಿಕೋ ವರಂ ಎಕ್ಕತಿ ಗಂಟೆ ಗೊತ್ತುಗ ಮೇಕಿ ಎಬೆಸ್ ಬೇಫಳಕ ದೆಬಸ್ ವೆಂ ಕಮೆನ್ನು ದೊಳುಹಾರ ವೆಗೆನ್ ದಿಯರುಗ ಕೊಬಾತೋ ಅಳಗೊಂಡ ಮೆಂಗೆ ತೆರೆನ್ ಕಾಕುತೋ ದಿಯೈ ಅಳಗೊಂಡ ಮೆಂ ತೆರೆನ್ දෙතින් මීහක දියේරුග අලුනතර කිත මීහුන්තෝ ඉතරන් අයස් ගුල්නි කිත තවලිමි කිත ගාබිලු බේෆලුන්තෝ අලුගොන මෙන්නා ගුලි මිමසකත්ත නිකුති මී මියදු මි ගෝමුගේ එම්මිහා රයියතුන් බලාගෙන් පාවා දිව රාජ්‍යයේ එම්මිහා රයියතුන් බේනුවා කමක වාති මිකම රාජ්‍යයේ තපාත්කම් කොල්තකුන් දිවෙමුන්දා තරුහිබා තායදනි ඉන්තිහායන් ඉතුරුවම බොඩුවම කුරීග අලුගොන මෙන්නා පෙනිගෙන් දියේයි ගාෆ් දාලු ගාෆ් අදි සීදාකොත් දන්නවඤ්ඤා දෙකුණුගේ මේ හතර අතොළුන් ලිබෙමුන්දාවරුගේ තායිදක එබ්බාරදුමේ රාජ්‍යයේ උතුරු එහෙනින් දිමදිමාදන් ලිබෙමුන් නුදාකන් එහෙන් නමස් අලුණ දන්නවානි එහෙන් නූනේ මිහාරු උතුරුගේ අතොල්තවගාවස් හම මි රූහු මි තායිදු මි හිදමත්ත මි හරකත්ත හම උෆෙදි මිගොතුගා පෙන්නමුන් දාතන් එබේ ආදේ එබේ ෆෙනේ හම කුඩ කුඩ තපාතිකේ ඔති අලුණ කුඩ හිවර ලාෆියා හම මි हरकतक मी ताईदा मी रूह मी विंदु हम हिसाबम फेनिगन दाने एकम कामत शक्य निते आदे अळुगण में तिबि साबित कं अळुगण में बेनुवा गोई अळुगण मेंगे अडु उफुदाने फुर्सत अळुगण मेंगे बिहार हिंगम दा हरकतकु मदवेगन दियकम गावियस अळुगण मेंगे हिब्बरक अजुमक अळुगण मेंगे साबित कमक कुडवेस्तफाते नादे अळुगण मितिबि हम एरुवेस्ति साबित कमतीगा हम मिहारस अळुगण मेन्ना जोहणु कोम्मे कमे मिकमुगा अळुगण मेन्ना तंफीज कुरान पार्टिंग गोवादि कोम्मे कमे तंफीज कुर मट्टक अळुगण मे मसे कुरान अळुगण तेदवाना अळुगण मेगे साबित कमा अळुगण मेगे हिवर्गद का अळुगण दक्काना अदियस दक्काना कुरियंगतागस दक्काना अळुगण मे पहे नुजे अळुगण मे पहे नुजे अळुगण मे अजुमे अळुगण मेगे अजुब देरे नुवे अळुगण हिबरे नेले अळुगण मिति साबित कमा एकीगा अळुगण मी पार्टीगा मी रूह है भाई मी हिब्बर है भाई मी आजम है भाई कोचेत्तो अळुगण तो नेतिगे मोळनी अळुगण मेना अळुगण मे दामी मगु अळुगण गोस्कोस तिब्बा अळुगण कोड कोडको मडकोले जेहुनी अळुगण मेना लिबुन लफातगा इरसादा एकीगा अळुगण मेना एहन नतीजा तके निर्विधान कमा फेन्नातीवे मातमा अळुगण निकमे मी हरकत कुरिय दामी सीधा हरकत එහෙන් හරකත් මි ඉන්සාම් කො කුරියක් ගෙන්දානේ ෆුරි හම බාරා ඉස්තියාර MDP ಗ මියදෙස් එබයි එයින් එමෙ තම්පකෙ බෙස් වීකෝගෙන නෝත බල්කරි වෙගෙන නුදා කාලුනම වර යකින් කමයි තිබෙෆුන්නා මි දන්නවනි ආදේ මෙකි අලුගොන්න මිගොත මාගෙන වාහතේ දක්කන් ඔය ෆුර්සතෙන් නු මිරේගේ එජෙන්ඩා වරවෙස් දිගු එහෙන් බීමා මිරේගේ එජෙන්ඩා තිබෙෆුන ෆුර්තම දන්නවාලාන එම්මෙ ෆුර්තම කීර්ති ගුරුවාණු බරකාතු මි ජල්සා ෆෙෂිගෙන් එදී गुरुवान किया विदार देवी अल हाफिज अहमद जकी देम्योती अळगोंडुगे आइटम आदे आइटम मिदनी फुरियाममुं ए तारफ कुरुम एक पहुगा तिवेपुरना मुखातब कुरम योती मिरेगे मी जलसागे वडांग इन इज्जत तेरिया आदे ऑनरेबल गेरी स्ट्रेटा आदे एबेफला तिवेपुरना मुखातब कुरम मिरेगे एजेंडा गे भाई एक पहुगा वाफुर दक्कम योती मोहम्मद लतीफ एक पहुगा वाहपुर दक्का मेती डॉक्टर मोहम्मद मुनव्वर अप्पा वाहपुर दक्का मेती मोहम्मद असलम आदे ए अड्डोतोल इज्जतेर मेंबर देम वाहपुर दक्का मेती नवीन दायरा के रईस अली अहमद एक पहुगा वाहपुर दक्का अंगे भाई मिरेगे मी बदलूंगा एक पहुगा वाहपुर दक्का अहमद मेती गाफ अलिफ के हास मजिद रईतुन हास मजिद गाफ अलिफ के इज्जत मेंबर अदनान हलीम एक पहुगा पार्टी चेयरपर्सन मोहम्मद नसीर वाहफुल दक्कोंगे भाई मोहम्मद नसीर दप्पो वाहफुल दक्कोआनी इब्राहिम हुसैन जकी एक पहुगा शुक्र दन्ने को तुम गाफदाल दायरा वाहफुल दक्कोआनी मोहम्मद नाजिम आदे वरद दिग एजेंडा है बीमा एजेंडा तंदिनो को तुम अळोंड वकीलु कुरिंग अळोंड दन्नवानी कुरीगवेस अळोंड गोवाल फदा मिहार अळोंड मि गोवाल अनिये अब्दुल इंसाफ अळोंड बेन में अब्दुल इंसाफ अळोंड देशे अळुगोंड में अनिया जेकोळ हद में अनिया करू हुट्टादाशे अदि विहा अवाहक मिराजे रैयतु अळुगोंड एमडीपी मेंबर मियदेनी तिया खुदुम होतार वेरिया मिराजे वेरकम इस्तीफा दी अळुगोंड मेन्ना मिराजे मिनिमम कमा एकीगा अळुगोंड बेनवाद मिराजे हिंगमुगे फुर्सतु देशे अळुगोंड मि गोवालनी मौमून 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 आदे मी साहब अळुंडु मी फुर्सत में अरुवनी मिरेगे आदे मी गेरी स्ट्रीट वाहकुळु दक्कवाफ आदि लतीफ वाहकुळु दक्केवीमा मी प्रोग्राम मिहा दिगुवेन दातीवे एबेफुळा मी मोहम्मद लतीफ वाहकुळु पहु वडानवात हमजी वाहक धन्यवाद एहमीमा अळुवण मी फुर्सत अळुवणी Honorable Gary Strater.
Well, thank you very much indeed for your very warm welcome. On behalf of Philippa Broom, who is the Director of the Conservative Party International Office, and myself, Gary Streeter, the Member of Parliament for South West Devon, and also technical expert and Chairman of the Conservative Party International Office, we'd very much like to thank you for such a warm welcome over the last 3 days, which we have received in your beautiful, beautiful country. Now, the British have long had a love affair with the Maldives, and just coming here this week for the first time, I can well understand why. It does seem to the British eye that you are living in paradise with the blue sea, the sun, and the palm trees, and the wonderful, friendly people. I know we had some British weather this morning, but it seems to us that you are living in paradise. But you don't have to be here long to realize that all is not well in paradise. It isn't paradise because you do not have the government that you deserve. And you do not have the freedom and the democracy that you deserve. I just want to say a few words about the importance of this strange thing called democracy. It isn't something that comes from the West. It isn't something that comes from Christianity. It is a system of government that has been thrashed out in many parts of the world over many generations by many countries, and it is, as Winston Churchill once famously said, it is the worst form of government it is the worst form of government apart from all the others. Democracy is the best form of government. But why is it? Why is democracy so important? Because with democracy comes those essential building blocks that we need to build a stable and prosperous country. With democracy comes freedom of speech. With democracy comes the rule of law, so that nobody is above the law and that the cases are settled by independent judges. Democracy brings with it a strong civil society, organizations and charities which are the lifeblood and the strength of any community. Democracy brings with it a protection from human rights abuse. So you do not fear the knock on the door at 2 o'clock in the morning. So the police do not come after you with their truncheons just because you simply choose to demonstrate in a peaceful manner. human rights protection. And with democracy comes the ability to elect a government of your choosing. And then even better, dear friends, and I speak from rich personal experience, even better than electing a government of your choosing is getting rid of a government that you don't any longer like. And that is the best thing, in my opinion, about democracy. And when I was first elected to the British Parliament in 1992, and the Conservative Party lost the election in 1997, and John Major had to leave 10 Downing Street, soldiers did not have to come. The police did not have to drag him screaming and kicking. It has become part of our tradition and custom and culture that if you lose an election, you go and the next people come in. And I wish that for you as a country as well. But for all its greatness, democracy is not an end in itself. It's not an end in itself. The great advantage of democracy is that it brings with it better government. Democracy is a system that brings into force better decision making. And why does democracy bring better government? Well, it's because with democracy comes a choice. And if the government you have elected fails, if they make promises and they don't keep them, as happens so often in so many countries, well, then you simply vote them out and vote in another. Democracy gives you the choice. It gives the power to the people and not the politicians. It brings competition. It brings accountability. It ends up with better governance. And that, in the end, is what it's all about. So democracy, dear friends, is very important. But you know, it's taken the British people 800 years of grappling with our own democracy, and we still have not arrived at our final destination. It is still not perfect. Do you know that less than 90 years ago, we've been at this for 800 years, but less than 90 years ago, British women did not have the right to vote. We still have a second chamber that is unelected. Our democracy is not perfect, and we've been at it a long time. And the thing about democracy and about politics is that they are complicated and they take a lot of learning, and you cannot do it overnight. We think, Philippa and I think, this is our first visit to the Maldives, that you have made tremendous progress in the last 3 years. Because you're so close to it, you probably don't see it. But you really have come a long way in the last 3 years. And I want to congratulate the MDP for the great progress and advance it has made in a very short space of time. But we know, don't we, that there is more to come. And that is why we are here. We're here from the British Conservative Party not to tell you how to run your country. It's certainly not for us to really have an opinion on how you should run your country. That is a matter for you. We are not here to say what you really need is a system just like Westminster. We're not here to say that. Your form of democracy must be your own, and it must suit you, your country, and your culture. But we are here to say we have for the last 15 years as a party and as a government in Britain, we have been trying to help emerging democracies around the world establish strong traditions and capacity for democracy in each of those countries. And let's face it, there have been plenty of opportunities. So many countries that were once part of the Soviet Union. In 1991, the wall came down and they were free. And they didn't know how to do democracy. They had no idea how to do it. They had no tradition of democracy in places like Poland and Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia and the Ukraine and so many different countries. And we have been working with them over 15 years. Not to say this is how you do it, but to say with humility, these are our experiences. These are some of the mistakes we have made. Please don't make the same mistakes as we have made. And you know that in our opinion that it's taking 8 years, 10 years, 12 years in some countries, but just now in many of these countries a culture of democracy is being learnt and being acquired, and governments are voted in and governments are voted out, and the rule of law is being established. We believe that can happen here in the Maldives too, and that is why we are here. We are here to lend a good old-fashioned British helping hand. The Conservative Party wants to work with the MDP to share our values, share our experiences, to help you on that journey to full multi-party democracy and free and fair elections in this wonderful country of yours. Now it may be, and we heard this afternoon, that some of you think that after those early days of excitement, maybe you think that it's just getting bogged down, it's going too slowly. And maybe it's right that you have reached a certain level. But my message today is this, that it is now time to move on to the next level. And we want to help you to do that. We want to help you with training and know-how and expertise and any assistance we can offer to build capacity in this very impressive organization known as the Maldivian Democratic Society. Why? Because we want full-blown democracy to be your experience here in the Maldives. Now, is it enough then that your destination is, all you can think about is that the MDP should get into government and all your problems will be over? Is that the destination? Well, no, I don't think so. It's not just about electing the MDP to government. It is about electing the MDP to government for a purpose. And that purpose has to be to make your country better. We've been hearing about some of your problems, problems which face many countries, of drugs, lack of employment opportunities, poverty in many places. These are the things which blight many countries. It must be the purpose of the MDP to tackle these issues and set out a very clear agenda to bring relief and remedy and more justice and solutions where there are problems. So to get your party elected for purpose is your primary objective. And I believe that you will do this. Now I want to say something that you may find rather hard. It's very tempting in the situation that you are in to keep going back endlessly into history and rehearsing all of the arguments and all of the unfairnesses and all of the injustice that has happened to you. And I don't doubt the reality of any of that experience. But I want to encourage you tonight, and this is my last thought, I want to encourage you tonight to focus on the things that really matter to get you to where you want to be. And I think two things matter. First of all, that the constitutional reforms are completed as quickly as possible, bringing in the new freedoms. And all members of Parliament and the international community must do what we can to make sure that that process happens. And secondly, part of that is that there will be, within the next 1 or 2 years in this country, verifiably free and fair elections. And your duty, dear friends, if I may say so, while that focus takes place of getting those reforms in place, your duty is to prepare and get yourselves ready so that when those elections are called, there is no doubt that it will be the MDP that will take its message to the people and will triumph and will be successful. It may seem to you that free and fair elections and winning an election is just very remote, a long way away. But I want to say to you, from our experience in working in 29 different countries in the last 15 years, I believe actually these things are not far away for you. They are within your grasp. I believe it will be your experience in the near future that you will have the reforms you want and you will have the elections you want. Your job is to make sure you're ready to maximize that opportunity. My final thought is this. In the end, it's disappointing, but you can't do democracy without party politics. You can't do democracy without political parties. And you know you've already experienced it, and it's true, and I've experienced it too. Being involved in politics is really hard work. And often you don't get any thanks, and it's endless meetings, and it's listening to boring people like me, and it's knocking on doors, and it's issuing leaflets, and it's working really hard when other people are sitting around in their homes, and you are out there doing things. Politics is about ideas and hard work. And you may sometimes ask yourselves, well, is it really worth it? Is this democracy thing, is this politics thing really worth all the effort? And I want to say to you with a resounding response, yes, it's worth it, and I'll tell you why. It's worth it because you can't change your country without a democratic political process. It's worth it because without the hard effort, you will not win an election. And it's worth it for, I think, as a father, the most important reason on earth. It's worth it because if you succeed, your children and your grandchildren will be grateful and proud. Thank you very much.
Ade mirege mi baddalu mi holge hingam daruga mi baddaluge adu esema alunmenge baddalu me ebe malega gias dinu school hol gotire furife ekama habar be libe ebe fulum mi jalsa hingam daga adu sam genda wahages danwala ade dem mirege agenda ga wah prodaka hamji pawti Muhammad Latif ema Muhammad Latif alundu fursatarum wakil.
Assalamu alaikum me izzat tering Gabdal ke daira rais Salim auna den nevi mi haplaga Ingres bahun Gabdal adhyasakun Thinadhoo be gotung wahako kole dakkada ei honorable Gary Street aya Gabdal adhyasakun Thinadhoo ki konkal rashekkan konkal tajruba ka huna ko fori ehmima ekamagen ku yedde to balan. Welcome, Honorable Gary Streeter. I don't know, this probably is the third or fourth time someone has, but it's never enough. You really are welcome. I have been requested by the president of Gafdal branch to speak a few words explaining to you what this island of Thinadhoo is all about, our psyche and the experience that we had. And I will try to do that, and I will use some personal experience that symbolizes the struggle that we have gone through. Your speech wasn't boring at all. It was stirring, and I think if I had a choice, that alone makes you an honorary member of MDP. Welcome to the fold. Let me start by a great symbol. Now, Thinadhoo was not what it was called earlier on. It was known as Hawar Thinadhoo. Hawar meaning, crudely translated, mob, or let's say direct action, people power. That's what it evocates. And today, a very old gentleman from this island came to me and said, look, I have one request, son, and it is, I never asked my island's name to be changed. He, the president, does not have a right to change the name of our island without our permission. And he said, all I ask from you is give me back my name and my identity. Good for him. Yes, we have been a very democratic, very people-oriented, people-powered island. There is a historian right there, our chairman, who would fill you in perhaps. But let me not go too deep into history, but let me concentrate on the more recent history. Now, under the last president, we have been brutalized to the extent that no community deserves. We are supposed to be a 100% Muslim, a totally homogeneous society. And here comes these people, they come into the island, they just devastate the island, give 48 hours for people to evacuate, people died in the process, and that wasn't enough. Even the property that was here was destroyed. Believe me, it had a lasting impression on a lot of people who were there and a lot of people who were born even after that. You can understand why we feel so strongly that no one, no human being deserves this. It's not just about our island. No one deserves that. Now, I can tell you very personal. I myself was in Sri Lanka at that time and I was spared the horror. And sometimes I carry this guilt with me. I had my younger brother who must have been 5 years, and he was banished all by himself without any support, just going in the jungle trying to scrape something to eat. And just a few months before that, his father, my father, was perhaps the richest man in the whole country. He didn't deserve that. And I have had cousins who, when they were 10 or 11 years, were gang raped by people and just thrown aside. She didn't deserve it either. Now you could understand why the people of Thinadhoo, despite the fear, are there's so much of urge for them to have a more reasonable, rational form of governance. Then there was another old man from Formula, and he has the distinction of being the president, I believe, for 24 hours of this United Southern Atolls, Swadweep Republic. And I asked him,